All right, Shalom, Shalom. I'd like to give all praises and highest honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai,
Yehoshua, Bashem,
Ba'ashem
Rakakadash.
Akadash, Yahweh Shai being the name of the Heavenly Father in Paleo Ancient Hebrew, and Yahweh being the name of the Most High in Paleo Ancient Hebrew, and Yahweh Shai being the name of the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ in Paleo Ancient Hebrew. Double honors to the Apostle Elder, the great millstone and rule well. Salutations to you few brothers that preach, teach, and prophesy His word, truth, and sincerity of the hopeful elect. All right. We are here live at the Grand Rapids, Michigan camp here with another nifty lesson. All right. So this is the brother Aryaga.
Shmas.
It'll be America.
All right. We are once again going in to a very, very powerful topic because understandably this is what's preventing World War III. Until
There's
this,
something stopping it? I didn't know that somebody was trying to stop it.
oh yeah, it was called Satan. You see, Satan is like, nope, we ain't doing shit until this goddamn beast, till my beast ship come out.
Mm-hmm.
And ain't gonna be no that chip ain't gonna until that chip hit that dip. It's a wrap. So that chip comes before the dip. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Cause this place is gonna be dipped in thermonuclear hellfire. All right, but one of the things that has to take place first is that RFID microchip, aka the mark of the beast, has to be made mandatory. Okay, and so what you have right now, if you look on this screen, you have a brother, right? And as the title states, he is one of the first individuals to get that mark of the beast, that Elon Musk Neuralink brain chip put into his head. Yes, yes. It's always a meatball and spaghetti some motherfucking where. So yes, this is true. Okay? This meatball head nigga has gone so far as to do the unnecessary. I mean, at least when the Edomite got the brain chip, at least he was a paraplegic and shit. Like, I mean, what the fuck he ain't got nothing but the gain outside of just dying altogether, you know? And guess what? This nigga just got it for some superficial reasons. But that's because the mind state of 2/3 of our people and the rest of these heathen, they already have that let me get the newest trending thing mind state. They start with these Apple phones and the Apple watches. And when Apple started making that trending, paying all that money for a simple cell phone, everybody got to keep up with them. People putting down money for their taking money out of their mortgage to get these devices, just to get the devices, just to say they have it. That is the mind state of vanity and consumerism. And that is what America is all about. Trust and believe that. So let's get straight into it. Let's show you better than we can tell you.
My name, it's not too important. What I'm about to tell you, it's extremely important. I'm one of the first people to get a Neuralink implant in my skull. If you guys can see and don't really know what a Neuralink is, it's kind of like an electronic chip from Elon Musk embedded in your skull. At first, it was kind of like a Fitbit, kept track of vital signs, stuff that was going on in my body. Eventually, it's gotten to a point where um, I can move a mouse without even touching a computer. I can connect, I can download, I can transfer information. I'm not the only person that has one of these now, and now we can communicate. This is what's going to happen for the rest of the world. Eventually, this technology will be, maybe not in you, your kids, your grandkids. This is what's coming next. Welcome to the year 2025. Have fun.
Sounds like a bad time to me.
Yep. And you see that meat on the side of this nigga's head where that scar is from them putting that implant in, right?
Yeah.
All right. That soft tissue um is going to fuck up. It's going to be one of the first things. So let's get straight to it. Revelation 13 and 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Now you're gonna have some dumb nigga say, but that's not in his forehead. Oh, shut up, you stupid
Your
clown.
forehead, your head, your dominant hand, your right hand, the hand you use.
I don't care if they put that chip in your ass. Pause. It don't matter. If you get that chip put in you, wherever you get it put at, you fucked up and you are going to be destroyed. All that matters. Also on your forehead, when we were talking about earlier, they found out that this part of your brain functions for what you believe, your belief system. So your ability to believe comes from your frontal lobe.
Hmm.
And trust and believe. If they give you this, they put that chip or that vaccine, put them jabs anywhere into you. All of those things work in tandem to block your spirit or your belief in the Most High. It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 600 threescore and six. That is
I
going to be the trend.
I have a verse too.
Go ahead, Art.
This is Leviticus chapter one. Let's see, where was I? Chapter 19, verse 28. Ye shall not make unto you shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead. So he made a cutting into his flesh just to put something metal inside of it, something
Mm-hmm.
electronic. Yeah, disagree with that. He shouldn't have did that. I also have Matthew chapter. Just read it.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, I
all.
gotta find. I gotta
That's
find it
all
again.
worship of this system. By him getting that cutting in his flesh, he's doing that in representation of this system. It's not like he did it. Uh, they had to put this in me. I was gonna lose my life. Even then, he did that in worship of this system.
Okay, I found it again. Saint Matthew's chapter 5, verse. I mean 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon.
Yeah, and that's what that brain chip is really all about. Is putting all of your currency, your ability to maintain yourself and your family and your well-being on that chip.
Yep, you're pretty much putting your whole life on the chip, and the chip is going to be one that looks after you. It's going to have all your records, everything you need. Just
Mm,
they'll be able to just find it. And if that's true, I would think there's somebody there that can hack into those things, and they could probably steal your identity a lot easier because they can just copy all the information off.
that's right. Or they can sabotage it, like we were talking earlier. And
Oh yeah, it could because I remember Elon was talking about how uh, there's a possibility that people can just hack into drones and make them explode when they go into like just normal people's houses. It just can go to people outside, and they could rig it so they could just blow up. And he said they can do that right now, and it's possible, but nobody does it. But it's a scary thought that anybody could do something like that. So they could probably do the same thing with his technology in your head, like in Suicide Squad, where if you don't do what they tell you to do, they can set it up to where it blows up, or they can tell you forced to do certain acts, and if you don't do it, your head blows up.
Yep. Yep.
But I think using it anyway would cause you to have like or develop cancer in your head because anything with like phone technology, the material that they have to build into the phone always has one of those waivers that says it can cause cancer. Not guaranteed, but it may cause cancer to like overexposure. The radiation in your hand from you having your cell phone or you from having certain earphones or even Bluetooth speakers. If they give you that label that says it may cause harm or can potentially cause cancer. How much so with a Bluetooth speaker inside your head, right next to your brain, right on top of it too.
Yep. Because it's a trend. All because it's trending and it's cool as fuck. That's what it's all about. The next best thing. You know, his punk ass, that lame ass nigga probably, I don't know if he's married or not. He probably thought, hey man, I could get a whole lot of bitches with this shit.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised they'd be spying on him too, tracking him, finding out where he is. Say, why aren't you at work right now? You need to be work in 2 minutes. And he's probably sick. He's not taking that work. Oh, he just don't want to go to work that day. And they can say, oh, well, we're gonna have to dock his pay for next week.
Nah, that nigga like, man, I've been on them hoes lately, man. I can't even, my chip got me on these hoes and shit.
They like, no, or they'll say, you shouldn't even be with that woman right now. You should be with men or something like that.
Oh
You need
yeah,
to, because they're trying to control the population, wither it down to almost
I
nothing.
never seen a store where you
I can see them do that. Yeah, that's true.
from my mother, I never seen a store where you had to pay to get inside, and then when you pay to get inside, you gotta pay to get whatever you want. Miss, why I gotta pay to get inside the store? What type of shit is this? What's going on? Why I gotta pay to get in? I'm from Montana. In Montana, we don't gotta pay to get inside the store. What's New York? What's this about? Like, if I tap my card, is it gonna open? How you gotta pay to get inside the store? What?
And that's probably a tactic to like make sure they charge people that steal anyway if they don't take anything. But
Hmm.
they could just have better security. But I would still would not want to pay even to go because you may not even want something in that store, and then well, by then you could just stay at home. You don't want to be charged everywhere you go just to enter a building. Then they can say that you're charging you just to go into work. You don't want to be charged for everything just to enter places.
Mm-hmm. Right. The words, of Alex Jones, total control.
Mm.
That's what it's all about. Now, if somebody come and they teach you like this, they try to tell you if this is what the mark of the beast means and what they talking about, just get the fuck away from them. This is Nate from Bishop Nate, the head of the IURC.
Got to be kidding me.
For sure. Technology. Elon Musk, I thought about him instantly. He is like our quasi president, if you will, because, seeing pictures of him standing over Trump, pictures, they mean everything. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. And seeing him with his AI advancement, SpaceX, Tesla, Dogecoin is now trying to take over, right? So we could potentially have one currency. Where is that in the Bible where, times of a one currency, mark of the beast?
That's Revelation 13 and 16. Watch this. Revelation 13 and 16, and then Daniel 12 and 4. Actually, give me Daniel 12 and 4 first. Daniel 12 and 4. I want that one first about technology. Come
Daniel, chapter 12, verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, Shut up the words and seal the book.
The book is the Bible. Seal it up. Go ahead.
Even to the time of the end.
This is the time of the end. It's open now. That's what we're waking up saying, oh, we're the Israelites. We're the people in the book. Go ahead.
Many shall run to and fro.
To try to get understanding. Go ahead.
And knowledge shall be increased.
That word knowledge translates to science. Science shall be increased. And this is what you see with Elon Musk. Now, regarding the currency exchange, get that in Revelation 13 or 16.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond.
Meaning everybody.
To receive a mark in their right hand.
The mark that you're going to support is sin. They're going to make the Bible illegal. At least the way we teach is going to be illegal. That's why Trump has new laws for anti-Semitism and it's anti-Christian laws.
Yep, he did.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
A mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
Like Elon is trying to make a brain chip, but that's really not what it's talking about. Go ahead.
Right. Okay.
And that no man might buy or sell.
Meaning trade, buying and selling deals with commerce. You won't be able to do that. Go ahead.
Save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
Which is 666. So that in currency exchange of buying and selling, they're going to control that. That will bend the population to do what they say, to do what they want. Make the Bible illegal. If you don't condemn this book, like during the time of Rome, in order to buy and sell, I believe it was during the time of Claudius, they had a coin where they had to confess that Caesar was God. And if you did not do it, you could not buy and sell. So this isn't the first time. We read that and go, oh, this is the first time it ever happened. No, that has happened several times before, even in the book of Daniel. In Daniel 3, if you didn't worship the God of the Babylonians, there was no business for you. In fact, they threw you in the fiery furnace. That's the same thing Revelation 13 is talking about. It's nothing new. People think it's something new. What you got for me, Yuri?
No, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Bishop.
Yeah.
He didn't say what it was.
No, he didn't.
He just explained what happened, but he didn't say what it was.
Trying to just say it's sin.
Oh yeah. Then that doesn't make any sense. That would mean we already have the mark of the beast, and if it's just sin in general.
Yeah.
He would already have been here. It would have already, this stuff would have been done away with. It was just sin, period. Sin is not the mark of the beast.
Come on, now.
Said something implanted in you.
Exactly. So, well, see, brother, sin is implanted in your thoughts and dreams, nigga. Like, no.
Oh, sin is an action. Sin is an action you carry out.
Right. Not to mention, you know, with what they have established now with this mark, if you do get that put in your body, that is a sin. If you get the mark of the beast and you get that microchip put in you, that is a sin. But that the makeup of it is that electronic pulse that it puts out that carries, you know, all your information, and you know, even gives them the ability to flip the switch and change your behavior. You know.
Oh yeah, they may make something that can just regulate your behavior, so you can't get mad, so you won't want to protest anything, or be upset or fight them on anything, because they can control your mood.
Right.
Trump was put in by the bankers to get the control grid. He is moving very, very fast. First, he's getting the Real ID implemented very aggressively. Real ID, to do a control grid, you need a very high quality precision national ID. And he's got Kristi Noem out there pushing the Real ID like there's no tomorrow. The feds are pushing it. The second thing you need is an all digital financial system. So you got to kill cash and you got to make everybody interact digitally. He's canceled pennies, but he's also canceled now. You know, normally I pay my taxes with paper, and now he's saying, no, you got to do everything digital. He's trying to, if you go through that list, I've got like, 50 different items of what he's doing. If you think this is improvement, you have another thing coming. This is going to be the digital equivalent of the pallets of cash sent to Iraq. But you're literally going to tender for the global population try and get everybody off of their local currency into stable coins, and you're going to pump out massive amounts of private credit to make it really attractive.
You don't think the BRICS would try to compete with this?
I think as soon as you pass the Genius Act, it can go very, very fast. You could really see the world rock. Trump and Musk are implementing the control grid at high speed. To do a control grid, we need a digital ID implemented that's very high quality, high precise. Check the box. We need an all digital financial system. Check the box. We need a way of doing interoperable money. Check the box. We need a social credit system. To me, I want to build a social credit system that can be used to enforce control against the American people and basically lock them down with both enforcement and social credit. I would privatize it. I would just take it and put it in private AI with XAI and Palantir AI.
Yeah.
Attractive.
You don't think
This is Job 16:10. They have gaped upon me with their mouth. Hold on. Let me go down real quick. All right. Well, we can go ahead and go down. Proverbs 11:3. The integrity of the upright shall guide them. It's going to take a great amount of integrity to be able to deny the things that they're bringing. Just recently, they passed the Big Beautiful Bill, and the Big Beautiful Bill is basically getting everything started. Okay? With the Big Beautiful Bill, it sets basically the groundworks for them to basically strip all of these public assistance programs away from everybody. This is going beyond DEI. Okay? Taking a lot of money out of sectors of this government that a lot of people depend on because of the high rates of rent and inflation and what have you. Do you have a couple people that are abusing that? Yes, you do. You have a good amount, but then you have a lot that's not, and they lump them all in together to justify passing these different bills and these laws.
Yeah, and for the people that depend on that stuff heavily because they don't make a lot of money, because they don't have special jobs that pay them that kind of money, and just people in general that don't have those kind of special skills, or people that normally have average job earning income, they're not even able to afford just the stuff that people in the middle class can afford that you need, like life insurance, car insurance, medical insurance, insurance for their children, the dental insurance, things like that. That's stuff that they would need help with that the government pays for, in even in housing in Section 8 and low income rent apartment buildings, stuff like that. Even stuff that the vets have, the government help them with. They shut that stuff off. That's going to put people, a lot of people, at a disadvantage,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
that's going to cause people to get upset because now they don't have access to the things that the government owes them. And I'm not talking about people that's abusing the system. I mean people that have helped participate in the government, like in the army. They're going to be cheated because they're not going to be getting no help. And there's already some of them that don't get any assistance, and they already like served, and they don't meet certain requirements, so they don't get assistance. And the people that haven't been able to get housing for a while, they're definitely not going to get it. And for the mobs that are complaining and getting kicked out because they shut this stuff off, they're going to be homeless.
See?
The single mothers, it's going to affect everybody.
Yeah. And that's going to be an effect that's going to be in full effect because it's not going to go nowhere. Nothing is going to change once these things come into fruition. Proverbs 11:3. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of the transgressors shall destroy them. And, just like this nigga with this chip in his head, he's a transgressor. Okay? So the whole understanding behind, them trying to boost the benefits that the chip have and putting it in your head and keeping track of shit that it don't matter, man. It doesn't matter.
So they coming up with a new prison. that allows inmates to serve years of their sentence in just a matter of minutes. So the criminals is going to have a choice to spend tens of years behind bars, or they can make the choice to get the artificial memory implanted into their brain. So this process is called Cognify. And the intent of it is to treat the criminal like a patient.
There's a new system out there. They're talking about the prison of the future, folks. It's a company called Cognify. Take a look at this video, right? Because you've never seen anything like this. It's a new concept that it rehabilitates artificial memories. But the thing is, I think your actual prison sentence is really short, but they kind of erase your brain. You down with that one?
They're going to try to change the person's brain chemistry. After this process, when they re-enter society, they will be new and reformed, and they won't even be capable of committing any other crime. The chip can make the patient feel empathetic. Depending on the severity of the crime, the chip can also make you feel the emotional and physical pain of the victim and the family members. You can feel what they felt. So the process only takes about 7 minutes. But to the patient, it seemed like it had been years. Last year, the U.S. government spent $8.7 billion taxpayers' dollars on the prison. They say with this new prison, they can save money.
I think they can save more money just by taking certain people off. Like, okay, you know about death row and like death penalty stuff like that. I know they had changed it because they basically made they were just sending anybody to like death row because they just didn't like certain black people or something like that. I think that they can save more money if they stop trying to arrest people all the time and have to build up new prisons, find new jails, and have to keep locking up more people and have to pay more staff. If they just try to get people to, after they get out of prison, try to help them find jobs instead of ostracizing them from jobs, because the whole thing about being reformed is you can go back into society, you can get a job, but then you have a stigma because you was arrested, whether you were innocent or not, or the cops were just messing with you that day. It makes it harder for you to get work, and then that can make you go back to crime. I think what they need to do is fix that and not put something in that's going to kind of make it like a less punishment for you, even if it's altering your brain. I mean, I wouldn't say the victims would be happy. Like, oh, he only served 30 minutes of prison time. How can that be fair? And it may be that only certain people may have access to something like that. And would you really want somebody to get away with like murder? If there was the worst kind of person that's corrupt and that's powerful, and he was arrested, like say somebody like Diddy or something like that, and he served maybe 30 minutes or something of time for all the victims he caused pain to, and he got right out. They're thinking about like letting him out right now. I think like they're gonna excuse his trial because some juror couldn't agree that he was guilty of something. I don't think this would be a fair thing to do for somebody that committed a crime that you were really was grievous to you. And I think that it would be wrong for like pretty much letting somebody be able to hold your emotions and set the level of what you're supposed to feel. If you can't figure out that what you did was wrong, there could be something wrong with you. But if you just lack empathy because you're just a terrible person, I think we should just let you serve longer time, or kill you off because you clearly were just a person that shouldn't have been around.
Yeah, you know what? One of the things that you do see with these promotions of all of these brand new technologies that guarantee that it'll make life a lot easier, they never go into the side effects of these things because they're saying that it'll take away their memory, and conveniently, that's what it's all about. It's just giving these inmates the chip. And they claim to do this and that. In other words, we give you the chip, and if you go somewhere and fuck up again, we can hit the switch and end your life. You know, whatever they got to, however they got to sell it and make promises that they say can do this or that. It's all about making sure you get that chip and giving these prisoners the ultimatum. Most are going to take that, especially they know they got 40, 50 years, and they can, or so they can just get a chip put in their head, and they can get out and think they be up on the same shit that they was before. No, your brain is changed forever. There's these side effects on the abilities of these chips has not been fully tested at all. And I bet you the amount that have already been tested, you think Esau don't know? You think he has no idea what this shit can do? How it can fuck you up? Everybody is, look, this is not just an American thing. This is universal.
This just in. So as everyone is so distracted with the Iran-Israel-US conflict, China is doing something in the shadows that we all have no idea about. So China has just launched something that could shake the global financial system. It's called the digital yuan. Now, it's not crypto, it's digital cash controlled by China's central bank. So that means that you can spend it, send it, and even without the internet, right? It's different to Bitcoin, but it's 100% traceable. Here's the power move. China's building its own international payment network called the CIPS, basically a rival to SWIFT. Foreign banks are already signing on. And guys, this is actually happening right now. As we're all distracted, China is making massive moves to take over the US dollar. IPS.
I'm scared, China. And like I showed the brother the video not too long after that, a whole city, humongous city, got so much rain in a small amount of time that
Something's always happening in China. Something bad always happens over there.
not like this. 36 feet of water.
What about all those things that keep happening to them where they get flooded, something hits them, there's a storm, buildings collapse?
It's
It
because
seems like something always happens to them over there.
no, it's HAARP. That's one of the main reasons these countries are afraid of America, because they can hit you with a storm or an earthquake, and they don't need to use missiles and fucking rockets and drones and shit on you. They hit you with some shit and say it was an act of nature. That shit happened in China. The reason that happened and the reason they got flooded out like that was simply because they are moving forward with this digital currency. They are trying to be the first ones out there. So everybody, whoever is the one that gets it started first, and you know, basically makes it normalized amongst their citizens, the rest of the world will follow. That's what it's about. Being the first one to put this shit out there so everybody can follow your lead and make your chip or your country's chip technology, you know, basically the leading innovative currency of the world. You know, that's what it's really all about. Okay, and whoever gets it out there first will basically be the ones to benefit the most. And America's doing whatever they can to hinder all of these other countries. And if they don't do what they say it's supposed to do, or that what they tell them, they hit them with all kind of natural disasters. You know.
Bro, wasn't Israel and Iran about to start World War III?
Yeah, there were explosions, sirens, TikToks with red filters, and now just ceasefire?
12 days. That's how long the chaos lasted. Just enough for headlines to scream, while the Genius Act slid through the Senate like butter.
Wait, they signed peace over coffee or what?
It wasn't a war. Turns out it was just another theater for people.
So while we were doom scrolling,
they passed digital dollar infrastructure, biometric ID integration, financial behavior monitoring, and no one blinked because they were too busy asking, is this World War III?
Wait, didn't they say Iran's nuke sites got hit?
Yeah, and yet not a single mushroom cloud. No mushroom emoji in sight. Where's the fallout? Where's the radiation mess?
So you're saying...
I'm saying it was a distraction ritual. Controlled chaos to mask real control.
But why fake a war?
When you're distracted, you don't see what they're building behind the curtain. Because when you're scared, you obey.
And the Genius Act...
It doesn't just replace money. It replaces identity. You become a programmable user.
But people don't even know this past.
That's the point. Just like nothing ever happens. Your soul, willpower, health, and energy are drained daily while you sit in front of a screen, eat garbage, listen to lies, and argue about theatrical events. 2010, real money still existed. 2015, things got tougher, but manageable. 2020, inflation, virus, lockdowns. 2023, prices, rent, food, everything up. 2025, survival became the new normal, and no one noticed because it's happening slowly.
So what's next?
You're not walking into a future. You're sliding into a system, a biometric funnel, where freedom is an illusion with a progress bar.
So we lost and didn't even know?
Exactly. The world didn't end. It just got a new terms of service.
Yeah, excuse
I was wondering about that. Would they like? Who would be like? Would Iran be in on it or not?
No, that's a problem. They're not. That's why they on their ass. They're the only
So-
country that's not. They own one of the only countries in the world that's sovereign.
So they didn't. They didn't blow up their missiles, or they did.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't have missiles. They just trying to blow up their nuclear program so they can enrich uranium to make missiles. But they was enriching the uranium just to use this energy. They wasn't worried about having nukes and shit like that. But the problem is, they're one of the only countries on the planet that's not under the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. They're not underneath the elites. They're doing their own thing. And of course, that's a threat to the elites because they lead the way in being rebels in that way, you know?
Yeah.
The Chinese had rolled out a digital payment online system like a week or so ago. They've already handled over 1.2 trillion in cross-border settlements through this renminbi-based system. So as Washington is still debating, should we have a digital dollar or not? You know, Beijing has already rolled out a digital renminbi, and payment system. It is shaking the very foundations of global finance. This cross-border settlement system now seamlessly connects to 10 ASEAN nations and 6 West Asian countries. It will enable nearly 38% of the world's trade volume to bypass the US-controlled Belgium-based SWIFT system. SWIFT is how banks message each other when they're wiring funds. And, the Iranians have been cut out of SWIFT. The Russians have been cut out of SWIFT. Basically, anyone the US and its allies want to punish gets cut out of SWIFT. Suddenly, this digital renminbi comes on board. I mean, we're talking about 40% of world's trade can bypass SWIFT. The implications of the Chinese digital renminbi are crazy. SWIFT takes 3 to 5 days for a payment once it's routed through intermediary banks to arrive at a destination. China's blockchain-driven digital renminbi platform compresses the process to seconds, 7 seconds. Actually, to be precise, a normal payment that would go through 6 intermediary banks landed instantly with a 98% drop in transaction fees.
Once again, China's in the fray, trying to lead the way and have themselves a good day. Damn, I had to do it. But this is one of the reasons why you see the heated tariff wars with China and the U.S. because China's like, shit, man. We trying to get that Belt Road Initiative. We trying to get that our Silk Road back on, and become a superpower just based off of our commerce.
They have to start selling to other countries that aren't America then.
Which they do, but the main consumer is still America. So through the Silk Road Initiative, pushing up through Pakistan, up to India, and moving further out through the east, that's their plan. And if they
then wouldn't they just have to change whatever they're making to fit whoever they're trying to sell for? If America's their biggest consumers, but they're still, but they may have conflict with them. Can't they just change who their consumers are, sell different products to a different country that's something more inclined with what they want?
No, because some of these other countries outside of the European countries, they manufacture a good amount of their own goods. Now, a lot of the stuff that they send to China, they send a good amount to India, to Pakistan. But the whole point in them utilizing this to be the next world power is because you want to bypass the American dollar. They regulate if your economy can grow or not. Right now, them still being underneath the main consumer, what they want to do is try to flip the script. If they control digital currency and they lead the way in this new innovative technology, then it would basically switch the roles and America would still be a consumer nation, but they would be behind them currency wise. They want to start a universal based currency in which America is not at the top of the food chain.
So they can't do that with a BRICS nation. Wouldn't they have to do that for that to
Well,
work?
right now, the BRICS nations, look, Pakistan and India is part of the BRICS nations, but they're at war with each other. Or they just had their own little spat. See, there's internal issues that they still got to fix. Ukraine or Russia can't fully dedicate their help to Iran because they're still fighting a war right on their front door. That's the whole reason you have the Ukrainian war. It's not necessarily because they think they have a chance of taking Ukraine and 1/3 of the world's grain supply. No, and it's to keep Russia preoccupied while they sew up the Middle East. Because remember, according to the scriptures, Ezekiel, Russia is going to be drawn into this war. It say an evil thought shall come upon them. Basically, Russia is trying to stop them nukes from flying, trying to work with America, work with everybody. They trying to take this approach and protect their own home. But the Most High is gonna flip that switch in Russia's head. They just gonna be like, fuck it. Because once they have the ability to stabilize the situation in Ukraine, they're gonna come to Iran's aid. Because remember the scripture said that they shall be a guard unto them. And once Russia steps into it, all them other nations, they're going to feel empowered because it got to be look. The only other thing to stop an Edomite nation like America has to be another Edomite nation, which would be Russia, the equivalent militarily, you know.
Hmm.
And then whoever, they're always going to be the head or the tip of the spear, and all the other nations that make peace with them fall in behind them. So the whole point is they're waiting. All these other nations are waiting for Russia to get involved in this Middle Eastern conflict and protect Iran before they take up arms. Because remember, China was talking shit like, "Oh, we're gonna come to y'all rescue. We ain't gonna play that shit," and they ain't do shit ever since the bombing started because everybody is waiting for Russia to stand up. Another Edomite nation, you know. But this is Ezekiel 28:2. Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, the prince of Tyrus, right? This is the present day prince of Tyrus. The elites, Donald Trump, this whole, the heads of this democracy, this United States structure, this NATO EU structure. It says, thus saith Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, because thine heart is lifted up. And now it said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God. Though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. Because they got so uppity. Esau, they got so uppity in his system, he think that he's God. Motherfucker, I'm God and you not. What was that, the cursing preacher and shit?
Hmm.
That's their mind state right now. Bitch, I'm God and you not. It says, behold, thou art wiser than, this is Ezekiel 28:3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. And these devils, that's one thing they do. That's why they have the Indiana Jones investigators out there to go and find out if these things are true. They'll find out. They went and they found the chariots at the bottom of Suez Canal with the horse skeletons and shit. You know, from when the Egyptians chased the Israelites through the Red Sea and they swallowed their asses up. They send them out there to find out what's real and what's not. All right, so that's why I said, "Thou art wiser than Daniel." These devils will go through. Look, you know, the Russians did that experiment, and they know how much the human spirit weighs, which I believe it was 10 grams.
Why do you believe that?
They had a documentary on it, and the Russian scientists measured how a man, as he died, soon as he died, he lost 10 grams, or 14 grams, I think it was. I think it was 14 grams. It's I think that's the name. It's either 10 grams or 14 grams is the name of the documentary. You know, and they basically recorded how much the human spirit weighed. Because as soon as people started dying, that's how much they would lose. That's the same exact weight they would lose as soon as they passed. It says, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. That's why America is the leading financially the leading nation, right? But all of that is coming to an end as we speak. By the great wisdom and by thy great traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. These nations are getting fed up with the
A
U.S.
normal
They're getting fed up with the U.S. And now they about to say, fuck it, dog. Let's go on and let's do it. Let's do this, dog. Fuck it.
We are in
One more thing.
we are in deep shit. When I say that we are in deep shit, we are in deep shit. You see these four right here? These are CEOs, COOs from Palantir, Meta, and OpenAI, multi-billionaires who are being sworn into our U.S. Army reserves as lieutenant colonels. So Commander Bonespur and Pete Kegsbreath came up with a new detachment called Detachment 201, the Army's Executive Innovation Corps, or EIC. Last I checked, when anyone wants to join the military, they have to go through basic training. They have to go through MOS training. They also have to go through a background check to be able to obtain a security clearance, whether it's secret or top secret. But yet, we're giving these four billionaires who are in charge of monitoring our information, our data, through Meta, through Palantir, and OpenAI, we're giving them the key to our defense. They are being sworn in as lieutenant motherfucking colonels, lieutenant colonels. Whereas for some of us who actually served, it takes us years and years and years, up to maybe 25 years just to get that rank, just to be able to obtain that rank. So on June 13th, the Army announced the creation of Detachment 201, otherwise known as the Executive Innovation Corps, which it describes as a new initiative designed to fuse cutting-edge tech expertise with military innovation. 4 ultra-wealthy executives from top tech companies were sworn into the unit ahead of President Trump's heavily promoted military parade, which was itself sponsored by Palantir. The Army's top spokesman declared that the Detachment 201 was being created to bring in tech innovation executive leaders to help the Army with the recruitment and the subsequent training of tech-focused people. So if it's not bad enough that we've got these 4 CEOs here that
Let me tell you something. To make it into the military and you be just a CEO, that shit is fucking crazy. I used to be in the military. There's no fucking way you just get sworn in and now you're officer on top of that. You don't know shit about shit. You ain't been through basic training. You ain't been through AIT. You ain't been through nothing.
Don't
AIT.
they yeah have a technology program in the army where you start off working there and even still you're like at the bottom until you know how stuff works?
No,
They don't have no IT program in the army.
no. A lot of that stuff is outside of drones and shit like that. A lot of that stuff is focused around Navy and Air Force. You know, Central Intelligence Agencies and stuff. You know, so them being sworn in like this and shit. You know, they have military technologies and agencies, but nothing that gives you the ability to be a CEO and be sworn in like you've been doing this shit. That's fucking crazy. That's like just because a motherfucker got a lot of money and shit, that motherfucker get into the NBA or the NFL draft and shit. Like that shit is crazy.
That are in charge of meddling and having access to our private information. Now they're going into the military and now they're going to use AI technology. This is a direct control of military innovation. This would include AI surveillance, cyber weapons, and autonomous drones. So now Trump and Pete Kegsbreath are trying to weaponize our military by the use of these super wealthy CEOs from OpenAI, Meta, and Palantir. And with the rank that they are obtaining, they have control over their subordinates, sergeants, sergeants first class, first sergeants, and command sergeant majors. They have more rank than those that have already served. And these motherfuckers didn't even go through training. This is what happens when you elect a motherfucking clown and you get a circus in return.
Yeah,
I
but
think the same thing would have happened for Kamala.
that shit would have been worse. I think that was going all the way back to when Russia was like basically getting at if what's her name? Uh
Hillary.
yeah, if she would have got in, it was like shit. They'd have shot. They would have went on ahead and shot the nukes at this motherfucker, dog, because they already know that she's a warmongering whore, you know. And Kamala will be the same way, you know. They'll be governed by their emotions. Just be mad and press the button. Like, nah, too volatile. Okay, far too volatile. And there's been a bunch of homosexuals shooting missiles and shit. That shit is terrible. Um, Amos 3 and 3. Can two walk together? At least they be agreed. Let me tell you something. A lot of people that seeing this in the military is pissed off. You imagine your whole putting in 20 years to have some pussy ass CEOs come in and get sworn in like it was nothing and be over you. Hey, the rest of these nations getting tired of America, dog. This shit finna pop off, man. Okay? Because everybody's coming to their wits end with this devil. Right now, we are in the midst of it, and this mark of the beast. Oh, I forgot to show that. So what they were talking about in that sketch where they showed, or that video where they showed, Peter Griffin and shit. It says a genius act. This is officially passed, right? When everybody was looking at the 12-day war. It says the Genius Act, officially known as the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act 2025 is a bill passed in the U.S. Senate on June 17, 2025, establishing a federal framework for the regulation of payment stablecoins. It aims to provide regulatory clarity, enhance consumer protection, and safeguard national security in the stablecoin market. In other words, digital currency, stable coin. Okay, dual track regulations, consumer protection. The bill it gives you the framework for the mark of the beast. All right, all they got to do next. All they got to do next is start promoting this. Okay.
So you're saying that they passed a bill that made digital coins a viable option
Yes, for U.S.
currency?
for tender, for national tender, for U.S. tender. Yep. So when they start making this mandatory, first they're going to push it, promote it, make it appealing, and give people a chance to just join in and become a part of it. And then they're going to make it mandatory. How many? What's the percentage of people you think that got the jab, Maaz?
Oh, um, I think 30% of people got it.
30%. 80% of people in the U.S. got the fucking jab.
Oh, I had too much faith in people.
Yeah. You try to make America great again, brother. Like, nah.
I thought people were smart enough to know better.
Oh, hell no. Motherfuckers got that jab put all up in them.
So that means 80% of the people may have something that could kill them off.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct, brother. Come on down. All right, so that's the situation, man. Genius Act. Do your research. There it is right in front of you. Oh, no, that was some bullshit. They didn't do it. Shut the fuck up and do your research. All right. You got anything else, Ma?
Um, no, no, you said all the good ones.
All right, man. So, with that, hey, Spirit of the Lord, let it guide you, protect you. You be part of the hopeful elect, man. Come out of this kingdom, man. Get your household in order. Get your spirit in check, and make preparations because we're gonna last the days. So, Mark of the Beast is coming. It's here. Next is the draft for the World War III. We almost out of here. Pray you were edified. Until the next time, we bid you shalom.
Oh.